What's up, everyone? Showdown breakdown time. Monday Night Football. Packers at home taking on the Saints. The rattlesnake is coming to town. Bobbywow. How do rattlesnakes do in cold weather?
You know, I'm assuming they don't fare too well.
I mean, I never seen a rattlesnake around here. I'm in the Northeast. They like it warm. They like it sunny. It's like the Saints. They like it warm and sunny in the dome. Nice, weather controlled.
Comfortable, indoor.
Yeah. Now they're coming up to Green Bay as 14-point underdogs.
Jeez.
We have this is a Monday Night Football onslaught. This is a Packers onslaught situation unfolding before our eyes, Bobbywow.
Yeah, seems that way.
So the Saints lose their quarterback a couple weeks ago. I don't know if they're down to the second string and the third string, but the rattlesnake is taking over at QB. They lose Alvin Kamara. And the coach is saying, well, Kendra will get some carries, but also Jamal Williams, and even mentioned the name of Jordan Mims, who I hadn't heard of until he said it. Not the same Mims that used to be a wide receiver or that is a wide receiver for, like, I don't know, the Broncos or whatever.
Right, not Marvin.
Yeah,
Jordan.
It's a different Mims. So you got that going on. We got an onslaught situation, a brewing here. I don't even know who the hell the wide receivers are on the Saints at this point. They're all hurt. Even Martez Valdez-Scantling, the new stud, has got a Q tag going on. So this should be an interesting showdown. I'm feeling the onslaught. I'm feeling Packers defense. I'm feeling Jacobs all in captain play. Am I getting crazy?
If it feels like this could be a big time Jacobs game, yes. But again, in a blowout, are the Packers going to be playing Jacobs? If they get up 21-0,
is there a backup?
Is Jacobs going to be out there?
Yeah, maybe Jacobs and the backup. It doesn't even matter if he's still out there because no one else is scoring. It's going to be snowy, you said?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be snowy through kickoff, probably through the first half. There'll be some snow.
Yeah,
not a ton, but it'll be snowy.
Ugly game. Bet the under. I think defense. I think kicker. I think unders. Let's get into the matchup sheet here though and see what we can figure out, Bobbywow. And got to get the millions. Get the millions, Bobby, 2 times. All right. I don't want to let that go. That's staying. All right. Let's take a look here at the matchup sheet for these two teams and try to figure out who's playing and what's going on. Get a little weird with it. That's right. Not weird, though. This is a certain type of matchup that we actually need to be aware of. All right, so Packers, again, running back group. Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson, with Jacobs getting the absolute massive majority of the work and Manny Wilson getting the scraps. There is a chance here in this style of game where you'll see Emmanuel Wilson in there late.
And I think it's actually been trending more toward Chris Brooks even the last couple of weeks, where Chris Brooks is actually the guy that's getting some of those backup reps. And he's more of the pass catcher too, it feels like, over Emmanuel. So I don't know if we have any Packers fans in the chat that can confirm that, but I do think it's Brooks that's been getting the RB2 reps.
Yeah, Brooks got more snaps, but Wilson got more carries. So you're right. I think it looks like Brooks is being brought in more as the scat back pass catcher, third down guy, with Wilson functioning as that straight back. And we have no idea which guy would come in a blowout scenario if you needed that. I think the more important component is, I don't know, outside of like injury or some other weird shit, to me, Josh Jacobs is going to be the top play on the slate. Snowy conditions, cold. You got a dead opponent that can't score anyway. It's just hand it to Josh and let him do his thing. It's got to be that. It's got to be that, Bobbywow. That's your captain.
There you go.
Mon Capitan. Do I need another one?
Yeah, nope. Look, I think, yeah, I mean, you don't need another one, but there are definitely some viable options here. We don't want to go too crazy and just call it Josh Jacobs and be done.
I don't know. I like getting crazy. Don't you know I'm loco?
I do know that. Yes.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs is going to push 100% ownership on the slate.
Yeah, he should be pretty fully owned. And if there's ever a reason to not play someone, it's the old he's fully owned and he gets hurt.
Yes, exactly.
Random shit like that. So, keep it in mind, right? All right. Rest of the Packers, does it even matter? Yes, it does matter. Tucker Kraft getting all the tight end touches. No one else gets a target. No need to worry about any of that. At wide receiver, you got the 4-pack of Reed, Doubs, Watson, and Wicks. With Reed and Wicks actually kind of trading off, like they're all in there. Reed, Doubs, and Watson are the primaries, and Wicks gets in there more often than not. Wicks is a guy who he'll either get lucky or you need an injury for him to get enough work. But they do get a lot of injuries on this team. But it's primarily Reed, Doubs, and Watson. I could see Reed. I hate that Reed has always been overpriced. We'll see how he's priced for this slate. The one thing I could see, this might be a Reed game in the sense that like Yak might be more important on a slate like this than maybe like deep ball. I don't know. Maybe, it's Christian Watson's that deep ball bomb catch a touchdown guy. Reed is a little bit more of the like Deebo Samuel style,
right?
Pocket knife player. Very low floor. And then Doubs is sort of the standard wide receiver. I don't know. I don't know how to fit. I'm trying to think like what would be preferable in snowy conditions.
Yeah, I don't know that we have to go too far just because it's not going to be like Buffalo Bills snowy where there's like feet of snow falling and it's covering the field. It's going to be a wet snow, and probably tapering down as we get closer to halftime. Yeah. So, but still, I think you're right about Jaden Reed. Its low floor is tough to swallow because he's the most expensive of the three. But he is a guy that, they'll run him out of the backfield occasionally like Deebo, he'll run some of those short intermediate routes. And so I do think, as much as he struggled lately, he's the top dog still on this offense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I like it. I like it. You really just want to play fucking Jacobs and we got to figure out the rest. So that's kind of what comes out. Like, I don't know how to favor one of these running.
I don't think you do. Yeah. You'd be doing a disservice if we told people we knew.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Is maybe Tucker Kraft because again, tight end, kind of standing there in the middle of the field in conditions, but I don't know.
For what it's worth, Luke Musgrave may be activated for this game. Not that it does much to Kraft. I think even when Musgrave was healthy, Kraft was the guy. But just putting it out in the airwaves, Musgrave could be out there too.
Kraft has solidified that role. Now let's take a look at the weirder team, which is the Saints. No quarterback, no wide receivers. No quarterback, no wide receivers, no talent on the team whatsoever. Maybe Kendre Miller's okay.
Kendre Miller's, he's got some potential.
Kendre Miller got 100% of the carries for this team last week, and that's what I like to see. So at the very least, what we're getting with Kendre is a running back who they are probably going to feed the rock to very intensely in this game, because what else are you going to do? If the Saints are going to keep it close, what they're going to do is just run it a lot, try to play some defense, keep it close, run the football, take it out of the hands of the rattlesnake. He's not suited for cold weather.
Yeah, probably not.
He's not a guy who could play out in the cold. He's hanging out in New Orleans. It's like 80 degrees there right now. You ever like go to a cold place during the summer? You're not used to it. Your body's like, what the fuck? Where am I? It's too cold here. Hands get all
Chicago, so
yeah, it's always cold where you are.
I think the thing about Kendre Miller is, he's a guy that can catch the football. He's got good hands. And I think if he's going to be that dump off option for Rattler, and I think he will be, there's a lot of potential for PPR piling up. I don't think this is a situation like we saw yesterday with Shanahan and Patrick Taylor, right? We kind of knew going in that was a little bit sketchy. There was some reason for concern there. I think Kendre Miller will get the bulk of the touches here, and I think he will be involved in the passing game too. So he's probably the best play on the Saints far and away. Opinion.
He's a guy that they want to see what they have in. They drafted him like in the third round. Like he's a guy that and plus, by the way, when I've seen him out there, he looks the part.
He does.
He does look the part. Like he looks like a quality athletic running back. So he has looked the part to me when he's been out there the last couple of weeks. All right, at tight end, it's Juwan Jennings and Foster Moreau, both now on the field about equally, and I think we'll see a ton of these two this week. Last week, Foster Moreau actually got an extra target, but they're targeted about the same. With no wide receivers that are healthy, they have to use these guys if they're going to be in their passing offense. So I like them both, Bobbywow.
Yeah, and with Juwan Johnson, it's kind of like the situation in Vegas, right, where Juwan Johnson is almost operating as a wide receiver at this point, like Bowers is, and then you've got Foster Moreau out there a ton as well, and he's operating more in that secondary role, but he's on the field a bunch, and he's gets targets in the red zone, so he's worth a look too.
Yeah, definitely. I think those tight ends, if you're playing anybody, they're interesting. Wide receiver spot for the Saints is disgusting. So last week, we just have to go by snap counts and targets and understand that who the fuck knows, right? So last week, it was Valdez-Scantling, Kevin Austin Jr., both in that 75, 78 as full-time role at wide receiver, with Dante Pettis rounding it out at about 50%. And then Cedric Wilson Jr. also getting some snaps at about 37%. We don't know for sure if MVS will even be healthy and play today. He's been the primary pass catcher. You gotta fill in for me. I got my phones ringing in the background over here.
I don't know. I was waiting for you to pull the cat out.
Filibuster. So
Funny.
MVS, Austin Jr., both at 78, 75%. And then the interesting guy is Dante Pettis, who, it seems like they're always targeting him. And last week he got 15% of the target, so he was out there a bit. If you remember, Dante Pettis was like a fourth-string wide receiver for the 49ers a bunch of years ago.
And the Bears, a couple of years.
He's been just floating around the league.
He's got speed. He's a guy that could get into space and do some damage, but he's Dante Pettis. He's a WR5, really.
Yeah. So that rounds out the usages. We don't know if MVS is going to play. My assumption is if MVS does play, he'll continue his role as like the primary WR1, which is crazy in its own regard. And then I think about it, MVS is the WR1 for this team.
Yeah. And he's actually looked okay in that role. He's been a guy that's been productive.
He has not looked bad. He has not looked bad at all. But yeah, MVS has been the WR1, which is just bananas. And so that's just what's going on with this team. It's crazy. But if he's out, I think it will be Kevin Austin Jr., Cedric Wilson, and Pettis. So that's going to be it. With Cedric Wilson Jr. seemingly the least good, let's take a look at what the props say for some of these guys. Not all of them have a prop, but we'll take a look here on the Dom Station. First, we'll take a look at captain ownerships and try to understand what the field is about to do here. And there you go, Bobbywow. It is pretty clear. Josh Jacobs, 35% captain. That's about as high as we've seen.
And that's
we could see 50% Jacobs. I feel like that's what's going to win. So, a lot of times how we talk about do a little something different, fade that. I just think it's going to win. And so, but you're just going to tie with a million people. I don't think there's any version of a Josh Jacobs lineup where you're probably not in a massive tie group.
Fully agreed. And there are absolutely paths to failure for Josh Jacobs. Look, this is a guy that scored 3 touchdowns and only ended up with 25 fantasy points either last week or the week before. So he needs to be scoring multiple touchdowns to end up as the optimal, as the most expensive guy. I think absolutely that could fail easily.
I like Real Josu's idea here. Real Josu. Packers D at captain against the Rattlesnake.
I like it.
I could see it. Yeah, in the
at Lambeau. Yes.
Yeah, in the sun. Or I'm sorry, in the snow at Lambeau. I could see it. Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has had 21-point games in this year. They throw for the touchdowns instead.
Man, I think Kendre Miller is the best pivot off of Jacobs here.
Kendre?
significant cheaper. Kendre Miller, yep, significantly cheaper. You know, the PPR upside that Jacobs doesn't have. So he's not a guy that has to score multiple touchdowns. And look, you know, his projection isn't terrible either. So I don't know. I like Kendre as a pivot. I just think this will be a game we look back on and you'll be like, man, I'm kicking myself because I played so much Josh Jacobs. I knew he was the chalk and I shouldn't have done it. I'm worried about that.
It's never good to just eat a whole pile of 50% owned chalk, just going into a slate knowing even if you win, you're really not going to do much with that. Like you're not gaining any edge.
Does 20 points get it done for Jacobs? I don't think so.
I think it does.
You think so?
I don't know that anybody's putting up more than 20 on a slate like this. The only way is if
he's the most expensive guy.
Yeah. I mean, you could. Jordan Love is fine. Throws for touchdowns, runs for one. You know, Jolo could get in there.
I mean, Packers wide receivers are live too. I feel like Jaden Reed is live.
Yeah, there are other ways to go. Again, I don't want to overemphasize. Like you said, there's a little bit of weather going on. It's really just like the domination of the. It's really mainly the fact that the Saints are going to be so dead of a team. But we've seen teams put up points that weren't through the running back in these spots. We've seen that happen before. That happens all the time. So,
yeah, week 13, Jacobs 21 points. Week 14, 2 weeks ago, he scored 3 touchdowns and only ended up with 24 points. And then last week he had 22 points. So if you think 20 gets it done, then he's probably your captain. But I don't know that it does tonight. We'll see.
But it might not. I mean, listen, any wide receiver who's even mildly being used will cross 20. So, and this is DraftKings, especially when we're focusing on DraftKings.
Yes, exactly.
There's space for wide receivers to get there. Which guy? I don't know. But I think that it's probably somebody on the Packers. It's probably not somebody on the Saints based on just the Saints looking absolutely terrible. I think the Saints might be this might be one of those games. If I had to predict, I think this will be one of those games where it's ugly. The Saints offense looks completely horrible. You're hoping for garbage time goodness, and it never comes because the rattler just keeps getting his ass beat. They beat on the rat with the baseball bat.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I agree. That's the most likely outcome.
Yeah. So you're gonna be like, oh, garbage time, and then no, you're not even gonna get that. It's just gonna be more ugliness, more domination, more just Packers putting up numbers. That seems like the way it would go. Yeah, Cedric Wilson's got the idea.
Yeah, I mean, they're 14-point favorites. And obviously, that's the most likely outcome for sure.
Cedric Wilson's here in the chat. All right.
Man.
Shouldn't you be prepping for tonight? What the hell? All right. Let's jump over to the cheat sheet and see what we have in terms of, so it's, 4-star Jolo, and then just some interest in Kendre, Reed, no Rattler. What the hell is this? DFS up north. Come on, bro. Romeo, and then Packers defense. No Christian Watson in there. He's biased against the Packers.
Maybe. Yeah, but he doesn't let his biases phase him.
Yeah. Is salary going to matter here, Bobbywow?
That really is the question. Because I think that determines, how risky we want to get with Josh Jacobs and at captain if you're doing tournaments. So let's check it out. Let's build a lineup.
Yeah, let's just build, because this is a pretty standard kind of straightforward. You're going to put Josh Jacobs in here as your baseline, right? This is how everybody's going to start. And then what? So you got 6,500. So that expensive start, fine. Maybe like Foster Moreau or Juwan Johnson as your piece from the Saints.
Yeah. I think Johnson probably for me, if I had to pick one.
I just want to go with the cheaper one. But fine, you go there. Let's see here. I want to play Packers defense. Oh, look how expensive that is. Yikes. Maybe Packers kicker. Their kicker's been having trouble. Has McManus been okay? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good.
Everything.
He's been fine.
Play some kicker. Kendry. Dubs, Watson, man, they're all expensive for who they are. Yeah, they didn't price him down. Let's get Jolo in there, and then from there, yeah, maybe Tucker Kraft. Green Bay Onslaught.
Yeah.
With just Juwan Johnson in it.
I don't love it, but
no. I don't love
I think you're probably going to want one of the 3 Packers wide receivers, most likely Reed.
You think Reed? Reed is so expensive. I don't know if I want him.
I mean, you know,
last time this guy's had a good game was 2023.
Okay.
It's been so long. He did okay a couple of weeks ago. Talk about a guy that burns your fantasy team though. Like you get this guy and he's starting for you and it's like, 3, 7, 6. He's supposed to be a stud. He's putting up 3s and 7s and 5s. And then between he gets you a 30, but you benched him that week because he got you 10 and a 9 the week before. Brutal. I don't know which. There's no way of knowing because the Saints don't have any good really cornerbacks either. There's nothing that's going to push the targets from one guy to another. It really is just going to be whoever the hell they want to throw it to. So
and don't forget about Wicks too. Wicks plays half the snaps still as a WR4.
Yeah,
so
any one of them.
Might be
that's probably where you. That's probably where you get your uniqueness. The other thing is I kind of want to play Kendre Miller, Bobby.
I will absolutely. Kendre Miller will be a part of just about every one of my lineups. He's core. If I was writing the sheet, he'd be core for me.
Is there anybody down here in the 200s that's relevant? Again, let's go back.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Pettis. You talked about
is he that price?
Cedric Wilson. Pettis is 1K. Cedric Wilson is 1,200. I think Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks is someone I'll be well overweight on. He's 2K.
Backup running back for the Packers. I like this Dante Pettis one. You know what? What if we went with Pettis and Miller, 2 pieces, and then could get the Packers kicker in there. So Miller, Pettis, Jacobs, Packers defense, Jolo, and McManus. I don't mind it. If I could have gotten to Tucker Kraft, I would have done that, but I can't. I'm going to do this one for this.
There you go.
I'm going to roll with that. So I got the Packers defense. I got the Packers kicker in a game where, again, in back testing this style of game with these super low totals, you did want to kind of force running back, kicker, defense all together in the same lineup. So that kind of worked for me in the past with this style of game and back testing. Running the onslaught or 4-2. So we're probably looking at 4-2 onslaughts. The only thing that you're getting with the Saints is a lot of value.
Yep.
They're going to have to throw it. MVS or I can't even.
Kevin Austin.
I'm not even committing the name to memory. Kevin Austin.
And the tight ends.
Yeah, either a Foster Moreau or Juwan Johnson. That's kind of how we're going to have to play this one. Just maybe I think it's a 4-2 or a 5-1 Packers onslaught. At least that's what it plays like. Everything says that's how it should go. Of course, every once in a while, you get these games where a team comes in that looks dead, like the Patriots at the Bills yesterday, and play a really competitive game. But I think the difference here is we've seen this quarterback, and he looks terrible.
He's bad.
Yeah, he was so bad that I felt like they wanted to play the other guy, Haener.
They did. They played Haener, and then they benched him. And now
and then he was so bad, they're like, all right, that's not going to work. So, I mean, this is a team that has Haener. Yeah, this is a team that has no other option. They're just like, all right, what are we going to do? Yeah, Haener went in there, and he looked absolutely god-awful. So then they bring out the rattlesnake. Yeah, I think you play this straight up, Bobby. You just play it straight up, like as expected. Rattlesnake sucks. Let's see. He was 2 interceptions. The interceptions are going to be galore. I don't.
The Packers are without Jair Alexander. They're missing some guys in their secondary. That's not a huge boost for Rattler. But look, I think what you have with the Saints is you have a big group of players who have an opportunity to make a name for themselves these last couple of games of the season. And that is worth something. You know, like Kendre Miller, for example, he's super talented. He has tons of potential, this is probably the first time he started and been healthy in forever. Like, he's a guy that is going to want to make a name for himself. So I think the Saints are littered with players like that, and that tends to lead to maybe a more competitive game than we think. But that's really all the Saints have going for them. Point.
Yeah, this guy stinks. It's got to be it's got to be the tight ends. If you're going to be a rookie quarterback, young, don't know what the fuck you're doing, sucks, who are you throwing to? You throw it to your tight end. Like, the more I think about it, who's he going to throw to? Just throw to, like, the tight end. He's not complete passes to Martez Valdez-Scantling deep.
He's going to throw to Kendre Miller.
Throw it to Kendre. But the problem with Kendre is, this is what I don't like about Kendre. It goes against the philosophical thing that I don't like to do, which is play a massive underdog running back at all on a team that's not going to score. So paying up for Kendre, I think that carries risk, Bobbywow.
Absolutely. Of course it does.
Yeah.
But I thought we were talking about tournaments. We're talking about cashing. You want to be safe? Sure.
Yeah.
Load up on Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs and
I want
defense.
Cash. I'm making it.
You want to just cash? Fine.
I want to cash. I'm not trying to win the tournament with this one. I want to be in the money. It's Foster Moreau. That cheap option, just a guy that could get a couple receptions. Yeah. Keep it almost all Packers beyond that. That's what I think the play is. Keep it chalk. The problem, all right, you need one more cheapie. You can't do Jacobs and Love. Even this approach doesn't really work salary-wise unless you find one more pay down. Christian Watson, I don't know why my mind is telling me this is not the kind of game where Christian Watson does well. I'm going to go back to the kicker, back to the defense, 7,600. What's left? Couldn't get. Oh, almost. All right. I have to work on that one. Okay. But that is how I'm seeing it. I'm just saying Saints get railed. Plus, the Packers are good. Like, it's not like the Saints are going up against some other mediocre team. They're going up against a team that is absolutely in the discussion for, best team in the NFC, right? They're going to be competitive.
Yeah.
By the way, side note for everybody watching, I've been diving into playoff best ball. I've got some strategy content that we'll be doing. I think we'll start it next week when we have an idea of like who the teams are. But Bobbywow, I've dived in and I've got all kinds of math. I've mathed out I've game theoried my way to understanding playoff best ball leagues, and they are super fun, and it's very strategic and it's very formulaic.
Yeah, so, count me in for that. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we'll be doing a breakdown of that, and I know exactly what to do and how to do it. I feel like if I have enough people doing the same concept, 100% we could take it down. But you have to be very formulaic with what you're doing. But we'll save that for next week. So look out for a playoff best ball breakdown for next week right here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. If you're enjoying this content, again, like, subscribe, notify, all that good stuff. And I hope everybody...
Go ahead. I was saying it's pretty wild that people are drafting already. Like, there's a ton of entries that have already been sent in for the playoff best ball. They don't even know who's in.
I love that. They're going to be dead entries. You cannot do that. Some of them will work out, but 90% of them are going to be. If you don't know who the bye week is and you're trying to draft teams right now, you're going to be screwed. The way that the way the system works, it's not cumulative scoring. So you need to get one round at a time. And so if you don't know who the bye week is, you might not have a quarterback in your first. If you take a bye team and that quarterback, and you don't have a quarterback round one, you're not getting through round one. So people are going to mess up, and it's actually free money. I think the correct approach is not to do it early, but to wait.
Agreed.
You have to know. You have to know who the bye week is at the bare minimum. If you don't know who the bye, and AFC, who the hell is the bye? You know who the bye is? I guess and the NFC definitely don't know. AFC, I think it's going to be the Chiefs, but like the NFC, we don't know.
Right.
There are 3 or 4 teams that could get the bye.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a quick look. And my phone stops ringing. Let's take a quick look here. It's never stopped here. At the FanDuel MVP position.
Man, how do you
so cheap?
Unplug
What is
that
the pricing? Are you seeing this? You can play anybody on FanDuel. There's no pricing issue. They just made it Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love. Still got 10K left. Like, you can do whatever you want. This is almost ridiculous. Who do you want? Kendre, 11K? You want a little 11K? I played every single high cost person. No problem.
Yeah. You get Tucker Kraft in there now. You could get kickers. You get
just throw a kicker in there. I'm putting this one in with the kicker, and there we go. Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, Packers defense, running back. This is an absurd lineup.
I like Tucker Kraft even more than the kicker, but yeah, you can do whatever you want.
I'm going to play the kicker because this is like I like to do a high floor approach, but yeah, I have 2K left. You can do whatever you want. I don't know what to make of this. It's too easy to make the lineup. It's almost bad. Are you guys seeing this? I'm going to recommend not playing this on FanDuel.
I think that's fair.
We're not supposed to do that here on the Showdown breakdown, but I mean, or let me put it like this. I strongly don't recommend running 150 lineups with this salary structure in place. And if you're going to do it, you almost have to. I would say if you're trying to win this outright, Bobbywow, actually the play here is to dive into these turd zone and pray for miracles. I'm trying to think who might be that guy. Wicks. I don't think it's any of these Saints wide receivers.
Chris Brooks could be. Wicks could be.
Man, it's so unlikely. It's so unlikely.
Yeah, really grasping the straws on here on FanDuel, trying to get unique. I don't know that there's. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, this is too chalky. I don't like it one bit. I don't play a ton of showdowns on FanDuel anyway for this reason. What I do like to do a lot of the time is kind of do more of a cashy lineup, or not necessarily in this giant contest, but like a smaller one, a little higher dollar, one or two. But yeah, this one's gross. Miller's backup is Jamal Williams. Yeah, Jamal Williams. And then there's another guy there too that they said they'll give some snaps to, maybe. But it's pretty much Jamal. I don't think they're going to play Jamal. I really don't. He's a veteran. Why would they put him out there? At least I'll see what they have with Kendre. I think Kendre's out there the whole game.
Plus, Jamal Williams just stinks.
I mean, I agree. Listen, he was a good player.
Henry Miller's going to play. He's going to get the bulk of the run for sure.
By the way, Jamal Williams is an awesome dude. Like, he's a fun guy. Like, he was good back in the day. You know that
now, it's important to note that, he's back at Lambeau, right?
Ooh.
Maybe he wants to get a touchdown back home.
Revenge for
song.
Yeah. Jamal Williams was drafted ahead of Aaron Jones that year. And they were going to try to figure out who their guy was going to be. And they went with Jones, who was like a 4th rounder, and Jamal was like a 3rd rounder. I remember that. Yeah, Jamal Williams get a touchdown. I'm just going to say this for FanDuel, and we're going to leave it at that. This is ridiculous, the pricing. I don't know why they did it that way, but it kind of makes it a little too easy in terms of making a lineup, and that's going to cause way too much chalk. Everybody's going to play. Again, I think everybody's going to play Jacobs. Yeah, your play here is to switch it and put Jordan Love in there. But let's see what the ownerships look like for this. We'll get one last look here. Yeah. And just, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I genuinely don't think it's a very fun way to play to, have the salary that soft. But let's see here. Yeah, P owned for Jacobs is over 50%.
Yeah, and really, then Jolo is 30. Here is finding another MVP.
Yeah,
you put Rattler MVP, Jaden Reed, Kendre Miller. That's your best shot at being unique, and it's unlikely to win. Obviously, very unlikely to win. But
I've never seen this. This is unique. I've never seen this on FanDuel. 80% on just 2 players, over 55 on just the running back, another 30 on the quarterback. You're at 85.
If you're risk averse, flags should be going up in your brain saying, "Wow, I've got an opportunity for leverage here." could lose it all, but there's some leverage. Otherwise, yeah. I totally agree with you.
Pick any name that's not those two, and if you're right, you have a chance to solo this thing.
Yep.
Kevin, who's that name? I don't fucking know. Packers defense.
Jaden Reed pops off. Spencer Rattler, a gift from God as a good day.
Can't.
Probably Kendre Miller or Jaden Reed would be the two guys I would guess. But again, there's a reason those guys are 80% owned because they're far and away the most likely.
I'd give it to Reed. Like, imagine Reed gets an end around.
Yeah. He's done it before. He's done it twice. He's outscored everyone.
Reed has had 2 games this year where he scored 35 or 30. The rest are shit, but like that, if that scenario repeats itself randomly today, that's how you win it. It's probably Reed. I don't think these other wide receivers have that kind of upside. Reed could take it to the house on a short pass. That's why I don't think this is a game where they're going to be like throwing bombs to Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs just getting volume work. But Jaden Reed can get it done on very low volume. That you know what? That's it. You just figured it out. The answer is Jaden Reed.
I would definitely, if I'm playing tournaments on FanDuel, I would have some Kendre Miller at 1.5%. That's just ridiculous.
A little K Mills.
He breaks free for a big run, ends up scoring another touch. Yeah. 1.5%. Please. Those two guys would be the guys I would get leverage on.
Yeah, I agree. All right. That's going to do it. Let's wrap it up there, Bobbywow. We got a ton of NFL action coming up this week. This is the busiest NFL week ever. Actually, I'm going to say this is now officially ever.
I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. We have the biggest. First of all, for everybody, if you hopefully you're getting through to round 3 of your playoffs. So congratulations, condolences if you got Jonathan Taylored this week. It was unfortunate. Or maybe Jonathan Taylor got you in the finals. So congrats on that. With that being said, this week, Bobbywow, we got Christmas on Wednesday. 3-game slate?
We got is it a 3-game slate?
I believe it's a 3-gamer.
Because we got a 3-gamer Saturday as well. I don't.
Another 3 on Saturday. Thursday night football. All day Sunday, all day Monday. So the schedule here on the DFS Army YouTube channel is going to be out of control. All I'm going to tell everybody to do is make sure you have the notification bell rung, because when we're going to be putting out this content for all these different, we'll be breaking them all down, but when is going to be interesting. We still haven't figured it out yet because it's new. So I'm sure we'll have a Christmas breakdown happening tomorrow at some point.
Yep.
And then come back on Thursday, Showdown. We got Friday football. For the Saturday, we got a Saturday slate and Sunday. So a lot going on here on the YouTube channel. You got to be subscribed and hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. I think the people that are here now watching this live are the ones that know, so they are having the notifications going. But if you're not and you're watching this not live, make sure that you get it going, because I'm not sure what the timing is going to be. Just all I know is save your money, because we got a big week of NFL. I love 3-game slates. We got one on Wednesday.
Yeah, just to make sure everyone's calendars are right. We got a 2-gamer on Wednesday.
It is Christmas. 2. Okay.
We got 2? A Showdown on Thursday. The Bears playing spoiler against the Seahawks. We got a 3-gamer Saturday.
Oh, that's a fun showdown.
A full slate of games. Looks like 8 or 9 games on Sunday, and then a Monday showdown to cap it all off. Lions at Niners. So
for the fantasy championships, no less.
The most wonderful time of the year. Yes, sir.
So we are going strong, guys. Merry Christmas to everybody. Good luck tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, but ugly sweaters tomorrow, Bobbywow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're going Christmas sweaters tomorrow.
Hot chocolate? Are you a hot chocolate guy? Probably not.
I'm not, but I will for the show. For the holiday season. Now, I'm not putting no nutmeg or whatever flavor shit goes in there.
Get in the spirit, though. You're going to get in the spirit.
I'll get some mellows in there. I'll go hot chocolate with some mellows.
Yes. Some mellows.
That does seem like the kind of food that'd be going at your house this time of year. Do you and the family sit and drink a hot chocolate, little mellows on top?
Yeah, we get some whipped cream, some mellows. Yeah, no. It's for the kids usually, and then the kids take a sip and make a mess, and that's pretty much how it goes. But no, let's make it happen. Ugly sweaters and hot chocolate.
You know what I love? This. Hopefully, based on how many $1,000 bills were printed last week off the Players Club and almost again this week, it was really close. We did have some, but I had others getting super close. Hopefully kids are going to be getting some big Christmas presents this year. So if you guys have been with DFS Army, or I'll tell you what, if you've been following the props team,
I was going to say, you plugged it all week last week, and then they popped off huge this weekend. They hit so many picks.
I mean, guys, if you're DFS Army subscribed, you have had access to this the whole freaking time. Look at these guys. It was like a Christmas miracle with the props team printing 25x tickets. There was like 3 of them that went off this weekend. And let's see where the props guys are at. We got a very strange fellow here in the chat. But last 3 days, the props team is up. They haven't even tracked them. So there's a bunch of wins in here that I'm not going to talk about. But last 7 days, these guys are up $2,100 this week on 3,000. So you're up almost 100% betting freaking parlays. Okay. Last 30 days, up $3,000. This is a Christmas gift. If you've been following along with these guys, if you're subscribed to DFS Army, you've had access to this. It's in the props channel in the Discord. They drop the plays throughout the day and night. And you're seeing here on the screen, these are $40, $25, $30 tickets. They're not saying, hey, I'm betting a prop $1,000. Oh, look, I'm up 1,000. No, these are voluminous parlays, 20 to 30 plays every, it's usually 15 to 20 plays a day. Nonstop prop action. And these guys, Will Lynn and Sniper, are absolutely killing it. You guys have access to this. Yeah, that's right. Ty's got it right. You don't need to know shit. You just have to follow along. You don't need to know ball. You don't need to know nothing. You just follow along. They give you the ticket. We don't give you tickets here in DFS. We're competing effectively against one another. With prop games, you're against the sportsbook. Let's take their money. So yes, if you've been following along, so make sure to check that out as well. DFS Army player prop subscription. It is currently available to all DFS Army VIPs. If you're not a DFS Army VIP subscriber, you just sign up for this. It's currently $35 a month. The price switches to $50 a month on January 1st. It is now December 23rd. Do not text me or DM me on January 3rd like, oh, I forgot. Can I get that price? I'm not going to do that. We've added coverage. Look at all these Proptimizers now. Prize Pick, Sleeper, Underdog, Pick 6, Parlay Play, Hot Streak, Fliff coming, Better coming. Any kind of parlay company that's out there in the DFS space, we are going to add that and have a Proptimizer tool that covers it. The Proptimizer tool, though, does cost a lot of money to develop and and maintain and have the data for it. We have incredible projections in there. It's been money in the bank. So, but more importantly, you don't even need to use the tools. You can just go to Sniper and Will In and follow along with the tickets they're dropping all throughout the day. They're making money. So make sure to check that out. And we will see you guys, I guess, tomorrow for the Christmas special. 2-game. I love a 2-game slate, Bobbywow. I already know what to do. The chalkier it gets, the better.
Yes, and amen.
That's right. More money for the bankroll. Good luck tonight, everyone. And good luck in your fantasy championships. If you have anybody going tonight, Josh Jacobs' teams are rubbing their hands together for the big one. We'll see how it goes. Take care, everyone. See you next time.